Hi, my name is Phil Schoenberg and I'm one of the founders and directors of Fastpitch Power. If you have been to our site before, you know what we're all about. If this is your first visit, welcome. And I hope you will take some time after I offer you my pearls of wisdom to navigate the site and see what we offer. We're here to help make you the best softball player you can possibly be, and we hope to be with you for many years to come, supporting you in your efforts. I'd like to tell you a little story, which I think will illustrate a very, very important issue with our young pitchers, with any pitcher really. Last summer, I went out to see one of our accomplished young pitchers, a young 14U pitcher, perform in a tournament. I often do that. In this particular instance, I made sure that nobody saw me, neither the parents nor the student, and I wanted to see exactly how she was performing, which is something that you can't necessarily tell as a coach when you're giving a lesson, but you can pretty much tell when you're in a game situation. So I watched the game, and watched a few more games, and the result of her pitching was very good, and as I expected, that night I get a call from her father. Coach Phil, I got to tell you, we are thrilled. Sally, not her real name, but Sally did a great job. Struck out 9, 2-hitter. We won the game 4-1. She was terrific. So I told her dad, I said, do me a favor, get Sally on the phone. So Sally picks up the phone, and I said, how did you do today? And she said, oh, I was really good. We won 4-1. I struck out 9 batters. I said, did you know that you missed 50% of your pitches? She paused and she said, how did you know that? I said, I came to the tournament and I watched you. She said, I didn't see you. I said, well, I did that on purpose so that you wouldn't be nervous, so I could see how you performed. And you missed 50% of your pitches. So she said, well, what do you mean I missed 50% of my pitches? I said, well, you know, when the catcher calls a curveball and puts her glove here, and you hit here, even though the batter swings and misses, the result is good, but the execution is not. So when you're trying to become a great pitcher, you need to be able to focus on your execution and not necessarily the result. And what I told her then was something that I tell a lot of our young pitchers, if not all of them, and that is that success is often the enemy of excellence. Now, what do I mean by that? This is a perfect example. Here's a case where the result was good. Won the game 4-1, pitched a 2-hitter, struck out 9. What's better than that? But when you're pitching in a 14U tournament and you've got batters who are not quite up to par and are not quite as experienced as some of the batters that you may face later on, and you miss your spot by this much and that batter swings and misses, well, yeah, the result is great, but the execution was poor. So if you convince yourself that as a result of winning the game and striking out 9 batters that you did as well as you can possibly do, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're never going to learn how to be a great pitcher. So I told her, someday, and it may not be in the too distant future, you're going to step up in class. And sure enough, fast forward 9 months, this young lady, at 13 years old, as an 8th grader, makes her varsity softball team as a starting pitcher. 3 days ago, she pitches in her first game. Again, I'm there, watching, hiding in the bushes, and I leave. That evening, I get a call from Sally with her dad on the phone. Said, Coach, now I know what you were talking about. I pitched today, and I stopped her and I said, you know what, I was there and I watched. And I missed some of my pitches. Not by a lot, but by enough so that these 16, 17, and 18-year-old girls were taking what I would normally have thought to be a really, really good pitch, 150, 200 feet, line drives, gappers, over the fence. I didn't pitch poorly, but I didn't pitch as well as I could possibly pitch. When you're learning how to perform as a pitcher, when you aspire to be an NCAA level pitcher, or even just a top travel ball pitcher, you have to realize that all the lessons in the world, although they are helpful in teaching you solid mechanics, are not going to teach you what you have to know when you're standing in the 8-foot circle and standing 43 feet away from you in the batter's box as somebody who knows how to take what you think is your best pitch, and because you missed it by this much, 250 feet over the center field fence into a bunch of evergreen trees. So don't fall into the trap as a young pitcher of believing what you see in the results of your games. Sometimes it can be very telling, but sometimes the most important thing it can tell you is that you may be good, but you're not good enough. So we're going to be here to support you in your efforts. We're going to be here to make sure that you have the information that you need and the guidance that you need to understand what you need to do to become as good as you can possibly be. So remember, when you're out there and you're competing, that success can very often be the enemy of excellence. If you believe you're as good as you can possibly be, you will never strive to be better. We will always, at Fastpitch Power, strive to be better. Strive to bring you the most accurate, up-to-date information that we can possibly bring you. And what we would suggest that you do is that you strive to do the same. Thank you, and I will be talking to you real soon.